this lesson is all about knife skills and learning how to use your knives really safely. So you'll see chefs chopping things at a million miles an hour, which is all super impressive, but isn't very safe. So start slow and get to grips with it, and practice makes perfect. So it's one of those things that you can just keep working on and have a think about when you're cooking something, if you can improve your knife skills. Now we're going to use two knives mainly. So first is a small paring knife, which you've probably got in your kitchen. Nice, easy to handle, used for small jobs, intricate jobs, anything quick and simple. The other knife you're going to use is a chef's knife, which you've probably got. So this is a bigger knife. Generally they're 8 to 10 inches. You want them ideally to be nice and sturdy, have a nice sturdy handle, feel that they're quite well balanced. Look after your knives, make sure you sharpen them. Sharp knives are a lot safer than blunt knives. So I'm going to show you how to use them on a few different things now. The first job is to have a look at an onion. So there's loads of different ways you can chop an onion, from a really, really small dice to something much more chunky. So for example, you were making fajitas. So I'm going to take my onion, and onions have all got a papery stalk end and a hairy root end. Now this root end is going to stay on because it's the root end that is what's going to hold all my onion together when I chop it. So first job is going to be to take this stalk end off. So off goes that papery stalk, and you can get rid of that, you don't need it anymore. And that leaves you with a really good flat surface to chop on. So I want to make sure whenever you're chopping, you always want a flat surface. If I try and chop something round, it's wobbly. As soon as I've got a flat surface, it's nice and sturdy. And I'm going to chop this onion in half, and this is the first hold I wanted to show you. This is called a bridge hold. So my hand is like a bridge that's holding the onion or the vegetable, and my knife is going to pass through as if it's passing through underneath a bridge. So I'm going to chop, and as I chop, you'll see that I'm pushing forwards and down at the same time. Now that's really important. If I try and just chop something by pushing down, the knife's going to be really, really wobbly and it's going to slip. So it's that forward motion that's really, really important. So I've got my onion is now cut into two halves. I'm going to put them nice and flat. And I'm going to take off this top layer of skin, and this is taking off not just that papery skin, but I'm going to take the whole top layer off that comes with it, because you'll find that that's all quite waxy and not that easy to deal with. So there's two main ways to chop an onion, a slice and a dice. So if I'm slicing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what's the second hold I want to teach you, and that's a claw hold. So if you'll see, my fingers are like a claw. My fingernails are right underneath my knuckles, and they're going to be nowhere near that knife. And my knife is just going to move forwards right in front of my knuckles, and my knuckles and my fingers are going to slowly walk back down the onion. And I'm going to push that knife forwards and down, as I showed you before, in really nice smooth cutting motion. You'll see my hands are well back and my fingers are just walking down that onion. Now you're going to hit a point where the onion starts to feel a bit wobbly. So at that point, what you're going to do is turn it over, make a few slices the other way, and then do a last couple of slices. Now this last bit, the stubby bit, can just go in the bin or in your compost, wherever. Now if I want to dice my onion, that's a bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to slice it downwards towards that hairy root end, but not through it, because you'll see that the hairy root end is what's holding it together. What lots of people will do is they'll cut both ends off their onion, and then they'll find it all falls apart, and that doesn't really work. So once we've got our slices through, what we're going to do is then do exactly the same cutting motion with our claw hold, walking our hands back as we chop, and you'll find that it comes off into nice small dice. You can use the knife to gather everything together, to pull it all together and tidy it up, and there you go, you have your onion ready to cook.